Hey, everybody. If you are new, brand new, never been to one of these before, let me know in the chat. I'd like to welcome you. This is live. This is Tuesday, March 3rd, March 1st, 2022. Excuse me. Brand new, Alan. Welcome. Glad to have you. I've been doing this trading thing for 20 years. This is for everybody. This is if you come watch it, it's free for all. It's open on YouTube, Carla. So this is open to the world. So this is anybody that wants to follow anything I'm doing. You get to come in here on Tuesdays and I give you 30 minutes to awesome, as my wife calls it, the boss. She thought we should call it 30 minutes of awesome. So, all righty. This is downtown Knoxville. If you're unfamiliar, it's the Sun Sphere built for the 1982 World's Fair. This is the L&N train station. It's now a STEM Academy. So as L&N is in Louisville and Nashville. There was a train line and train station, and now it's a high school STEM thing. So right downtown, behind, if you were standing here looking at this view, behind you is my wife's favorite place to go eat. Anyway, let's look at some charts, shall we? That's why we're all here, right? Here's some market analysis. Yeah. Yeah, the tennis Sean was on the other side of that picture there, Justin. All right. Let's go. Charts are on the other tab. So let's start with I think one of the most notable things of the day. Check out that move on oil there. We finally hit $100 after I've been talking about it since July. Probably bored some of you to death with my talk of $100 oil, but we're finally there. And this move up today, I kind of feel like it's a little bit overdone. So I'm going to lead off with my top of the line thing here. Let's jump down to a 5-minute chart and look at this thing. This is February 25th, right over here. Coming in, this has been the price action. This is a 5-minute chart, right? This was the 28th. Coming into the end of the day, right over here. And we flip to the first, right there. Now, this is futures. This is oil futures. If you're unfamiliar, they trade virtually 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. And there is a little break over the weekend from Friday afternoon until Sunday evening, and then it opens back up and goes again till Friday afternoon. So as we came into midnight last night, price is pretty, just kind of in the range. And then all of a sudden we did this. Now, if you think back to the last math class you had, that looks what I would call parabolic. It's going almost straight up, right? Yeah, so awesome, Rob. You closed profits in Chevron, ExxonMobil, and XLE, which is the ETF for energy. That's really good. I took most of my profit last Thursday on the pop over here, closed most of my oil positions. And then today on this move right here, I decided to buy some SCO, Sierra Charlie Oscar. Now, SCO is the ultra short Bloomberg crude oil. I bought an $8 strike April call. That's April 14th. So it's out there just a little bit. Now, sure, it can lose money. I only bought a couple, and this thing can keep on going on down as oil blasts off. This is short oil, so it's going to make money when oil comes back down. So I don't think it's going to keep on this path right here. And if we zoom out to a daily, we've come back to this 90 area several times. Well, too much sauce sun. Pop it down just a little bit more so we see it. We've popped up and come back to this 90 area for weeks. We tried to break out, came back, tried to break out, came back, tried to break out, came back, trying to break out again. History says it's likely to pull back at least another time, especially with this missed weekly pivot hitting here, sitting here now. So this might be a quick burn trade for SCO, but I gave it a little bit of time because you never know what's going to happen. Now, some of the other situation going on, most of the U.S. refiners are shut down right now, switching over their plant to do summer blend because we got to get that summer gas going because it's starting to get warm out. I mean, it's 63 outside right here in Knoxville. We're heading into the summer months, believe it or not. So it's supposed to be 75 this week here later. It's crazy. So the U.S. refiners are shut down. And when Biden came into power, he immediately shut down the Canadian pipeline construction that was going to bring us oil sand, oil from the Canadian oil sands region down to the refiners in Texas and the Gulf area. And he shut down that pipeline, and it's just been put on hold indefinitely. That kind of shut down that oil. It doesn't have a good way to transport down without a pipeline. So how are we making up that oil? Well, we're bringing it into ports in the Gulf area, and Russia is the primary supplier of that oil. Now, today, a bill was proposed in the House, I believe it was, to ban the acceptance or the importation of all Russian oil. That's how we're making up our shortage right now. So this is why oil did this crazy move right here. That's why our oil did that, whereas the Brent crude from Europe did not do that. And we're not seeing that kind of, like they peaked out last week and they've been down a little bit, whereas our move on oil is doing this today. So a little bit different situation going on. All right. So refiners being shut down, they're not making any money right now, and prices for their stock, what they're going to use to make oil or make their distillates, it's going skyrocketing. It's going parabolic today. So I think just like we had Thursday, we came back to normal. I think we could see this come back to normal. We'll see. It may not. And that's why I sized it small. So SCO is the play. Sierra Charlie Oscar. I did the $8 strike out to April, which gives us 44 days, I believe it was, April 14th. And I mean, it wouldn't take a whole lot for this thing to turn into money, because that contract was only 80, I think it was 80 cents is where I got my fill. So I'll pop up to 9 or 10, which is where we were just 2 weeks ago, to turn that profitable. So not looking for a huge win. Like I said, it's just a few contracts. All right. Let's check back in with something I talked about 2 weeks ago. GOLD. And we need Barrick, not the metal itself. So this thing, 2 weeks ago, I recommended this play with a 23 strike. That's where we are right now. I'm looking for a move to 30. It's really what I'm looking for. And I have to zoom out a bit more here. I think 31 was the all-time high up here. Up 30.90, 30.97, something like that. Can't get the right candle there. Yeah, right around 31. So this was the all-time high right up here. I'm looking for a move back up in that area. Now, right now, my personal holding of this GOLD January 2023 contract is up, I think, 40% right now. So this does have an opportunity to run and be highly profitable, but it can also fail out. We still have a lower high right here than we had back here in, was it May last year? So we need to break out above that high from May last year to really kick this thing off and turn it around into an uptrend instead of just another series of lower highs coming down through here. We're already above the trend. We need to break on above here. All right. Yeah, it's coming up on the 618. That just happens to be right in that same neighborhood. So watch for resistance as we get into that 25, 24, 25 area right in there. It's like 2470 up to 2550. That's where we need to break through to see some higher prices. Now, if we can get our true breakout, 36 would be like an upside target, all-time new high. And above that, we could see 44. So could get crazy on gold. And GC, the actual gold future, it is seeing a higher price than we saw back here in May. So GOLD has a little catching up to do yet. So this is quite bullish looking. And we broke out over that level finally. So we could see some positive action moving on with gold. All right, most people interested in S&P 500 and the general market, right? So we came down. This is the future for S&P 500. If you're unfamiliar, if you haven't been here before, haven't paid attention to this sort of thing in your trading past, I use the futures because they don't create gaps in the charts. So we did come down. We poked down here to levels that were consistent with some of the predictions I made. All right, this 41.23 price was where I said we could make a bottom. We poked right down in there and then got some bullish candles immediately. So that was using a little bit of Elliott wave magic to come up with that target. We did come up a little bit shy. If this is an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, Elliott wave wise, we came up a little bit shy of the A equals C, which would be at this 40.3850 area right here on this chart. Somewhere in that neighborhood, the 40, 40 something numbers. Looks like 38, not 83, 48, 30, 48, 40 roughly. We have made a 1-2 back up off the low. So what happens next? That's what everyone wants to know, right? Let's jump down, get a few more candles on the chart and talk about it here. So we had the low. We came up. I'll give you some levels. We gotta kind of to hold here. Now, this was a relatively 5-wave structure. We had this one. I have to go down to 1 hour chart to see it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was 1, 2, then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside the 3, then a 4, 5 to a higher price here. So really, that was a nested set of 5 waves. And now we've kind of seen a 1, 2, 3 down, which I'm not sure is going to complete this yet. Where is the 3? Let's see. 1 second. Let me grab the tool. So right here, right here, right here, right here. Now this only came down. So we need another fib line here. We didn't even get to a 50% retracement. So I kind of think that this may be an A wave, a three wave A wave. We could see a bigger B back up somewhere in this area right here. And then a bigger move down to one of these 2 fibs. Right in this zone right in here. Could see a rally up tomorrow, not making a higher high. And then we can see a drop right in here. I do kind of feel like we need to get to this lower 50 or 61.8% retrace before we can see a breakout. Now, this could be it right here. That could be all the retrace we see. And if we break out above the prior high here from this morning, I mean, it seems like forever ago, but it was this morning we were at a local high here, a swing high. If we break back out over that high, then we're likely to extend on up. So that's kind of the level to watch there, right around. We have to zoom it up just a little bit to get the numbers on it here. That candle right there says the high was 43.99. So basically breaking out over 4,400 sets us up for a run higher. And this could go quickly. If we get this retrace right here, we're likely to go back to the all-time high very quickly. This becomes a 1-2 setup. Now, if we do break down below this 42.14, 42.20-ish area on the S&P 500 futures, this is not quite the same as SPX. If we break down below that, it is still possible to push on down to that 40.38 level and see that final flush out. Things that could cause that: China deciding to take back Taiwan, and freaking the market out unexpectedly. So just have it in the back of your mind that something else could happen here in this same time frame. Now, we do have the jobs report on Friday. It's important to be prepared for that report coming out. And then we have a nuke exchange. I don't think I put that on a 0.01% chance of happening. He's a crazy dude, but I don't know if he's going to do that or not. I mean, I don't know him. I've never talked to him. He is getting old, and you never know. He's a crazy dude. No, I'm not kidding. Like, he could launch a nuke. Hey, if Putin's backed in the corner, what's he going to do? I don't know. I wouldn't guess what he was going to do. So a nuke strike could, shoot, showing his power. Nuclear war. Haven't done that since almost 100 years. So that's out there. That's a threat. And maybe a 0.01% chance of happening, but it could happen. All right. I'm here to, I don't know, man. Do you know him? I don't know him. I mean, there's lots of stories, and I think a lot of the stories are, stories. I have never talked to the dude, so I don't know. And people say he's vicious, but you just never know, man. I mean, you blow up the rest of the world. I mean, it's basically the world versus Putin right now, and I kind of feel like this is the end of him. So backed into a corner, he may do something dumb, but one way or another, I kind of feel like this is maybe going to be the end of his reign. I don't think the whole thing went down the way he planned it. So we're not here to talk politics, but those are black swan events sitting out there that could happen. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's kind of the world versus him at this point. I mean, everybody's kind of condemning what he's doing. All right, so that's the threats to S&P 500 and the benefits if somehow we go bullish, and the market may not even care. I mean, no matter what happens, the market may not care and we go bullish. So just have to see. We did come up shy of the target, so that makes me cautious that we may see another dip lower. NASDAQ, a little bit harder to predict on this one. We had the all-time high back here in November. Don't really have the cleanest three-wave down. Right here. kind of bounced off the 50% right here. If this was the high that we actually, this lower high was actually the high we ran off of, still bouncing off the 50% right there. Coming up short down here, this 12, about 12,590 area. So this one could see a little push lower also. There's some other cases where this could be the bottom. We did bottom out a couple times and flush it really good on tech. So tech kind of supports the fact that this may be the end. Now, the move up off the bottom is not quite as clean in NASDAQ as it was in the S&P 500. So zoom this back up here. Come on, jump back where I need you. There we go. This is a little messier, and the retrace here today is not quite as nice either. So we did top out again this morning. It has sort of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sort of, not the cleanest. We are way short of any kind of 50 or 618 retrace. So this thing has the possibility of dipping deeper, but it feels more bullish than S&P 500 actually. And the move up's not so clean. It may need another 5 before it gets the retrace. This may be 1 count behind. So it may need a 5 up here somewhere and then get the bigger retrace. So I don't market the Fed, Lou, the Fed raising interest rates historically has been bullish for the markets. It may seem like it's not the case, but usually we get all the correction and the freak out when they announce it's going to happen, which they've been announcing it for a year practically. And now that we might actually do it in March on the 15th, I don't know that anybody cares. It's kind of like Fed raising rate fatigue or whatever. I think it'll cause a little bit of volatility and then we sort it out and then we go higher. So right now, I still feel like everything's pretty bullishly set up. We've kind of made these bottoms. I expected a lower low. We got the lower low that I've been calling for a month. So we're all set to create a bullish pattern now. We do need this retrace to finish out right here, and then we can take off. So if we get the deeper retrace here, that can be very bullish to return back to the all-time high. And that's the story on NASDAQ. Russell, let's jump over here quickly. Russell's been in this giant consolidation for like a year. We've talked about it ad nauseum. We broke out the top, we broke out the bottom. We've consolidated here. We got a lower low right back here last week on the 23rd. And this thing can be set to go. I mean, just like basically that move lower last Thursday aligned the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Russell, all with the final flush out that we needed. And now that all 3 of them are aligned with the same pattern now off the bottom, this thing can go. Proportionally, they may not be the right proportions, but fib-wise, but they've all got the potential for a bullish bottoming pattern here. So this thing can kick off and take a run, and it all looks pretty darn sweet. I mean, I'm quite optimistic. Everything I've been looking for months now has happened. I have no reason to believe that this isn't going to turn around right here. So, why do I think the banks are bloody? Well, essentially, the governments of the world have just weaponized banks against countries and against people and against a lot of things. And just me theorizing, I think that's why crypto took off in the last couple of days. And I think that's why banks are getting kind of beat up on. So it's kind of a perfect situation for crypto to take over. So yeah, this was a lower low. So You can call it a W if you want to. I call it a 4-5, and then a potential 1-2, and then 3-4-5 is yet to occur. All right, briefly touch on Bitcoin because a lot of people like to hear my thoughts on Bitcoin. We have this same bottoming type pattern, except we didn't lower low here. This is actually a 1-2 setup, and we're getting that third, the potential start of the third. And this is a little bitty 1-2 right here that I mentioned in my crypto power plays video of the week. And this thing is doing exactly like what I thought it would, moving back above the high we had from early February, confirms it, and we're likely to see these higher prices. We could get up to this 60,000 area very quickly. Potential move right here for the third leg can get us up to this 58,000 area very quickly. I'm talking the next few days, 3 or 4 days, we could be up here. Doesn't have to go that fast, but it can be the next 3 or 4 days. All right. Ethereum has the same sort of pattern, almost exactly, lagging a little bit on the enthusiasm coming off of that little pullback there. So those are the two big dogs of crypto, and they're both set up quite bullishly right now. The BITO trade that I mentioned back a few weeks ago, BITO, hanging in there, about to break out to some new highs. All righty. Right, those blue lines are weekly pivots. That's what those are. I've modified them myself. Took the code, modified it a little bit. So those are our weekly pivot lines. I don't trade Russian ruble, so I don't have any comment on Russian ruble right now. All right, you can see there's tons of stuff I'm keeping up with. Echo Trades people, I'll put out a reminder for you. If you're watching this, we have a class tomorrow, and there's a special going on, a 1-year anniversary special. It's going to run through at least Sunday at midnight. So if you haven't considered it, you might need to consider it. You know, call in 855-454-0816, talk to David and or any of the other teammates, a sales team, and they'll hook you up with special pricing. Even if you're not going to run out, you can hook up on that special pricing. So they wanted me to mention that. Let's jump back over to the slideshow. I'll give you a little slideshow. Thanks for joining me tonight. I know many folks right now are panicking about Russia. I mean, you guys have asked tons of questions about it. Personally, I extend my sympathies and prayers for the people of Ukraine. There's people in our company that have friends and family over there. And, it's just, it reaches out and gets you. I mean, my thoughts are with them. They're attacking citizens, and that's not cool. So, but when we're talking about the markets, I always look for a trade that could arise. I found one ETF that I think could skyrocket soon based on all this garbage that's going on. The sanctions against Russia could even make this ETF soar even higher. But that's not all. The existing supply chain crisis make this ETF more valuable by default. And one little known US law that I've learned about is just like icing on the cake for this thing. So 3 huge fundamental factors. I'm not a fundamental guy, but there are some fundamental factors going on. Some market math that I've applied to it equals a massive trade potential setup here. I've prepared all the details about this trade in a special report, and I'll send it to you right away for just 20 bucks. So in the past, my opportunity wave reports, used to be called profit wave reports, have seen massive successes. In fact, the first one just gapped up even bigger this morning. It was based on UCO. Now, I can't guarantee success with this trade that I've got my eye on and my money on, but they're high confidence setups. Each one's individual, and you can grab all the details for just 20 bucks today. Go to jeffreytrader.com/wave, call 855-454-0816. Give the team a call, grab your copy today. And that's going to be it for today. Remember, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe for next week. We'll be back with you. As always, 30 minutes of awesome. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. I thank you all for coming. Buy this and you get into Discord. I'll let you in. You know, $20. You get in Discord. You get to talk with me. You get all my updates. I'm constantly on top of this stuff. All the people here are a testament to the fact that I try to update everybody live, real time, all day long. Sometimes all weekend, all evening. When the things are going down, I try to be on top of it. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. I'll see you around. I got a band concert I got to go to for my youngest, so I got to cut out of here. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you.